If you've seen the marketing for the POCO M8x 5G, you know it's being pitched as a massive leap forward for budget phones, heavily leaning on two major specs, a massive battery and cheap 5G connectivity. But building a budget phone always comes down to a zero-sum equation. Hitting a low retail price means taking the manufacturing budget away from one feature to pay for another. This chart maps the budget market, price on the vertical axis, and the trade-off between camera polish and raw performance on the horizontal. Plotting the POCO M8x 5G reveals its skew. It drops into the bottom right corner, prioritizing power while keeping prices low. The question for a buyer isn't whether the phone is powerful enough for the price. The real test is whether the specific cuts POCO made to the camera quality and the software experience will ruin your personal daily routine. To figure that out, we have to split our evaluation in half. First, we look at the hardware engine, the physical components POCO prioritized, like the high-capacity battery cell and the 120 Hz refresh rate display. Then we look at the daily experience metrics, the areas where the budget ran out. This includes things like out-of-the-box camera reliability and maintaining a clean, ad-free user interface. It is vital to separate the physical parts you hold in your hand from the software friction you navigate on the screen. This scorecard breaks down how those two sides interact. We have the hardware engine on the left and the daily experience on the right. A budget phone succeeds when the raw power on the left side is strong enough to make you forgive the friction on the right. Let's start with the engine. POCO equipped this device with a massive capacity battery, paired with a highly capable mid-tier gaming processor. That pairing delivers a specific physical guarantee. You can use this device heavily from morning to midnight without needing a wall charger. The processor easily handles high frame rate gaming and 120 Hz scrolling without overheating or aggressively dialing back its performance during long sessions. But cramming a battery cell of this size into a chassis has strict physical requirements. The M8x 5G is noticeably thicker and heavier than almost every other competing phone in this price bracket. That extra bulk means your hands will feel the weight during extended gaming matches or a long YouTube binge. Looking at our scorecard, the hardware engine easily passes the test for endurance, but we have to flag the obvious compromise in ergonomic bulk. If you want a phone that refuses to die, you have to be willing to carry a heavier tool in your pocket. POCO is also using an incredibly aggressive pricing model to offer full 5G support without pushing this phone into the mid-range price tier. You're getting excellent download speeds per dollar, securing your network performance for the next few years as 5G towers continue to expand. However, companies can only sell hardware this cheap by turning the software into a secondary revenue stream. They offset the manufacturing costs with bloatware, loading the phone with pre-installed third-party apps that literally pay to be on your home screen. Boot up POCO's HyperOS for the first time, and you are immediately hit with app recommendations, push notifications, and system advertisements. To get a clean, usable interface, you have to spend your first hour with the device manually uninstalling apps and diving into submenus to disable those system ads. The upfront discount at the cash register is directly paid for by the time and friction required to clean up the software experience yourself. To maintain that low price tag while paying for a large battery and 5G antennas, the camera module relies on standard, cost-effective sensors. In bright daylight, it produces highly capable photos, and it works perfectly well for quickly scanning documents or capturing an outdoor scene. But as soon as you step indoors or the sun goes down, the image quality degrades into noisy, grainy shadows. The video recording also lacks the stabilization required for serious content creation, resulting in shaky footage if you are walking and filming. The camera system here is a functional utility for basic documentation. It is not designed to be an artistic tool for a social media feed. What this adds up to is a highly specialized powerhouse. The POCO M8x 5G makes no attempt to be a balanced, universally appealing crowd pleaser. This flowchart lays out how to decide if you're the target buyer, starting with a simple question: what is your primary daily usage? Looking at the left path, this is for users who constantly push their hardware limits with gaming and streaming media. This means the heavy commuter, the budget mobile gamer, or the all-day background video streamer. For those profiles, the M8x 5G entirely cures battery anxiety. The raw screen time easily offsets the heavy chassis and the initial software cleanup. But look at the right path. This represents anyone who values a refined interface, strong photography, and a clean out-of-the-box experience. This path rejects the point-and-shoot photography enthusiasts, anyone trying to vlog, and tech minimalists who want a simple operating system. Expecting a flawless, ad-free camera experience at this price point ignores the economic reality that made the massive battery and 5G possible in the first place. The investment is only justified if raw power and uncompromised screen time dictate your day. Navigating budget tech isn't about finding a phone that does everything perfectly. It's about accurately matching your personal daily tolerances to a manufacturer's specific compromises.